As we get ready to step back into the classroom after summer, we are revealing our absolute favorite must-have tools that get us through the school day. From classic essentials to unexpected teacher treasures, let's dive into the ultimate classroom lineup of supplies, materials, and gadgets.
Michelle, I have a new podcast studio. Can you tell my background? I actually didn't realize though that my shirt literally blends in with the wall behind me. So I am one with the podcast today. However, since we have moved, we're living in an Airbnb. And so my studio is now on a laundry basket. And I'm just sitting on the bedroom floor and gonna make it work for the next little bit until we get into the house.
You are as resourceful as ever, Nicole. True teacher style. You have made it work and you look as beautiful and are as ready as ever. I love it. Who would know? Who would know?
Who would know? I just because we overshare everything, of course, on this podcast as teachers. So why not tell them what the reality really looks like? And honestly, it's so good to see you because we did our summer series and that was super cool. That was well received by so many teachers. And we haven't seen each other though because we batched those all together and we haven't recorded in about a month. So here we are back again as we kind of get ready to take on not yet, not quite yet a new school year here in Alberta, Canada, but we are gearing up for a new school year. So that's what today's show is going to be about is kind of setting up our classroom, our tried and true gadgets and tools that we love to use within our classrooms. And I know you curated a list. I curated a list, but we don't know each other's lists. So it's like our go-tos, right? Our Amazon wish list, our things that we pick up at the dollar store, from Costco, Walmart, all those kind of different things that we love as teachers. So are you ready to go back in, Michelle? I know you start before me.
I do start before you. So by the time this episode airs, actually, I'll have started that week, which is completely crazy. And what's also crazy is that I was in a couple of stores a few weeks ago, so say mid-summer series, and those school supplies are out. They were out like the first week of July. It was insane.
I know
I
it's
s-
almost equated to Christmas. It's like pretty much as soon as school starts, Halloween comes out and then Christmas comes out. It's like as soon as school ends, why do school supplies come out? I don't like that. I actually walked into a store, I won't name the name, it was a big box, and I promptly looked away. I was like, I looked away from the back to school area because I'm like, please don't remind me. I just stepped foot out of the classroom. I'm not ready to go back yet.
I saw your favorite school supply on sale for a really good price and took a picture for you. And my son was staring at me in the big box store saying, Mom, why are you taking pictures of these pens? And I was like, they're for Nicole. They're a good price. So although I was a bit triggered back then, I think I'm ready to probably pick up some supplies now.
They better have been Flair pens. And if you took a picture and they're sold out now by the time I go back, I'm going to be upset with you.
I know. I was thinking I should have just bought them all, right? For all of the people that love them as much as we do, but I didn't because it was like July 8th. So that would have been insanity.
Okay, fair. I forgive you.
So I am guessing that your number one favorite, did you pick Flair pens?
It's on my list for sure. Yeah. So Flair pens, of course, because they come in so many different colors. I also do let the students use them from time to time, but they're like a very special item that I'll let them use. But a definite go-to as I head back into school is like replenishing those Flair pens every year. I don't know if you guys know this, but Papermate comes out with a new kind of series of them, if you will. And so I always look for those going back to school. I just think that they help me kind of keep organized. I like to color code things in my planner, but kids also love to use them to write their name on like a good copy of something or to use it as an outliner. So it's that little bit of tip and trick for them as well because they know how much I love them. I keep them in a special container. So yes, I have definitely added Flair pens to my back to school list. And so I will mention that we are going to link all of our back to school wish list items, our go-tos, our must-haves that both myself and Michelle love. And you can add them to your list if you wish, of course. But I think it's really cool this year, Michelle, because I'm heading back into a classroom after being out of a classroom. So I need all the new things. I have to, cultivate all of my things. And you are just leaving a classroom, going back into administration, and you still want things, but different things, right? So that's kind of cool as we head back to school, how my context about going into grade 3 and your context about going into administration. We might have the same tools on our wish list, but we might not. So do you have Flair pens on yours, for example?
100%. Yeah, I do. And my students love to use them too. And it's quite cute because On my desk in my classroom, I had different mugs, one with my Flair pens, one with the Sharpies, one with the pencils. You know what it's like. But some of my mugs are your mugs from your book, from Miss Claire Has Lost Her Flair. And there was a day this year where my student realized that the mug, the image on the mug of Miss Claire, matched the front cover of the book she had. And I don't know if I sent you the picture, but the look on her face was just absolute awe. She was like, but the book, it matches the mug. And it was just such a fantastic moment. And so, of course, I've taken those mugs and those pens, like they'll just go onto my desk in my office. And of course, I'll have to replenish them a bit because I do let the kids use them as well. But they're just being transported for sure.
Amazing. Okay, so let's get into it. So these are our go-tos. So Michelle, what would be the top of your teacher back to school list?
Okay. I have a few props because, yes, I unpacked my teacher bag, but I had a few things that needed fixing. So they came home and now they're waiting to go back. But do you have this pencil sharpener?
I do not have that pencil sharpener.
You need this pencil sharpener, Nicole. I'm going to gift it, not this one. I'll get you one in a color of your choice for your new classroom. So it's automatic. You put your pencil in, it does all the work for you. It goes in, it comes out, done. And you can set it to different settings. It has a USB-C charger. This, you're just going to love it. My friend Kim had it. It was viral for a while on all the social media, but isn't it so cute?
It is adorable. However, I have to ask you this question because there's two types of teachers. Do you let the students use your electric pencil sharpener? Because I'm going to tell you, that's a hard no for me. I don't. I do not. I would rather waste 5 minutes, 10 minutes of my day sharpening children's pencils so they don't touch electric pencil sharpener, only because I've been through about 15 of them in my teaching career because they always break. Because as the kids jam in the pencil crayons to the pencils, and all of a sudden you have a broken pencil sharpener. So I don't know. Is that one that you let kids use, though? I'm going to ask you that question.
Okay, so truth be told, for the longest time, I did not let kids use it. It was mine, only mine. I sharpened all the pencils, but my kids really wanted to try it. And so what would happen is that the bus kids would go, and then I would pick one pickup student to sharpen the pencils. And so they knew this was a really big deal, a very big responsibility. So it's been fine. This has been the only one I've ever had. I've never had to replace it. It's been great. But on the very last day of school, one of my students wanted to try it and he wasn't paying attention. He sharpened a couple of pencils and one of the pencils he put in eraser first.
That's it. That's it. That's why I can't let them. That's why I'm like, no way. No, no kids allowed.
He was like, "It's okay, Mrs. DeLoe. It's okay. It's not broken." And I had to think, nobody's hurt. It's just a pencil sharpener. And then I brought it home and we took the drill. Okay, I didn't. Derek did. And he just drilled in the drill bit, got the eraser bit up. Good as new. Stand strong. It's worth it. It's worth
Okay,
it.
well, I'm gonna add that to my list because
Well,
I
I'm
do
gonna
love
get it
an
for you.
electric sharpener. I do love an electric sharpener, but it's only for me. So just so you know, you're
Yeah.
gifting that to me and none of my students.
Well, you'll have it for life then. My very good teacher neighbor Kim has this as well, and lots of people do, and you're gonna love it. I'm so glad I had it here to show you.
I have nothing because all the things I own are in boxes or storage. So sorry, I have no props. But one of my go-tos, though, is that every child in my classroom must have a dry erase board of their own. And one side has to be completely fully white. And the other side, I do prefer to have lines interlined on that. And so I love when students have them in their desks with their own erasable marker and their own eraser. And then if we're doing like a quick question, I have them write it down. They can either hold it up or go around and have a quick little check-in with them. Sometimes when they have a minute or two in between tasks, I let them take it out and practice the math facts on it or use it as a doodle board. I also love it for literacy, for word manipulation, where they have to erase letters, sounds from beginning, middle, or ending of words. So I love them. The coolest ones, though, that I've had, and I would love my own set, but they were at my last school, is like they would have handles on them. So you could hold up your answer and they were double sided. So I loved using those, especially for math, for a quick little check in. So dry erase board for every child is a must in my classroom. It will always come out of my personal budget if it's not in the school budget. And also tons of whiteboard markers. As we know as teachers, they're very hard sometimes to keep in your classroom. Hard to keep plentiful, I guess you should say. But I also love for my own whiteboard as a teacher, my own colored markers. So there's a set I love from Amazon. It comes with 25 different colors. They're dry erase markers. And I love being able to use different colors to get the point across of different lessons that I'm doing. So those are some key items to find in my classroom come the fall.
Okay, so tell me about your erasers that you use. Do you have a preference for what you use for whiteboard erasers? I know
I've
we've
used,
tried a variety of things.
yeah, I've used so many different things. I do the dollar store glove where like the Michael Jackson glove where they just have one glove and they keep it in their desk. But I also love just the little tiny little square erasers that are
Mm-hmm.
magnetic as well, so they can
Mm-hmm.
stay on the board and go back into their desk. I do like
Mm-hmm.
those. Those I find can last quite a while. They come in a 30 pack, I believe it is, and different colors or whatnot. So that's the thing that I have found the last couple of years I've used the most is those little square erasers that are magnetic.
One of my teacher friends, Kristen, she had a challenge for her kids this year with those yellow magnetic whiteboard erasers where she put one up and she had a contest for the whole year to see who could keep their whiteboard eraser looking like hers. And so I did it in my class and I forgot about it. I put it up as the example. We talked about it. And on the last day or whenever we were packing up our supplies, these kids all came to me. They're like, which one looks the most like yours? And these kids, they hadn't poked them with pencils. They hadn't drawn, you know how they color with their whiteboard markers? They hadn't
Always.
done that. They remembered that whole year. So that's a
Oh,
good idea for you.
I love that idea because I'm not gonna lie. The only thing is aesthetically, it drives me crazy because they draw and then they poke in them and they pick at the foam. So okay, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Stealing
love
that
those
one.
yellow ones too. Okay, the next one on my list is this reading light that I bought, and you could buy them in whatever character you want, I think, but the one that I had picked was the axolotl reading light, and it's the cutest little pink, I wish I had it, squishy, glowing axolotl. And again, it has a USB charger. And if I was listening to students read or helping somebody with their math or doing some sort of center or group work, I would have the light on. And the kids, I had to train them, of course, and retrain them and reiterate expectations. But if the light is on, I am giving someone my attention and I am supporting them right now. And unless there's an emergency, something serious is happening, try not to interrupt because you'll get your turn eventually too. But this reading light, I should leave it for my next teacher, but I love it. I know I'll even use it in the office with kids.
Anything you're willing to get rid of, just send it my way. I'm back in the classroom now. Okay, that reminds me of of a small little side note. So I wouldn't add this to my list perhaps now, but my first probably 10 years of teaching, I had this huge feathered pink boa and I called it the Woah Boa. So I used to wear it. I used to just put it over my neck and shoulders. And if I was doing a small group or a guided reading session or something, or working one on one with a child at my reading table, I would wear it. And if I was wearing that, kids knew, whoa, Woa,
But
she's got the boa. And that is literally what I did. It was like I don't know what I
bring it back. I love
but
it.
that boa was the kids wore it all the time too, and they loved it. But it was like by the end of that time, I had it for honestly, not joking, probably 10 years. There was like no feathers left to it. But I did love that actually. But I think the light is a little bit more simple to
You
maybe
have to bring the feathers back. It reminds me of that movie where they're in New York. I cannot think of that movie now, but they ended up with feathers everywhere. It's going to come to me. I'll have to message you at about 3 a.m. when I think about it, but you need to bring the feathers back. I love it. That's so catchy.
But same idea though with the light, which I love that light idea. I've seen something like that in the classroom, but I think maybe a little bit different. So that's really cool.
They're
Just
quite
that
intrigued by it.
visual. Yeah.
So even the readers or whoever's coming to work with me, they like to pick it up and touch it, or it goes out after a certain period of time. So they like to tap it and turn his light on again. So that's super fun. Okay, Woa Boa, do you want to add another one? Do you have another one that you're
Okay.
thinking of?
Yes, I think I love anything. If you have magnetic capabilities in your classroom, for me, like a whiteboard or a whiteboard, white wall, whatever you have, I love anything magnetic. So I love magnetic tiles, like for fractions. I love magnetic letters for when we're doing word work, especially in the classroom. I love magnetic hooks. I love magnetic organizers that I can put my markers into. So I do an organized whiteboard. So I tend to have, like I said, whiteboard clips, whiteboard folders, and lots of magnetic type of manipulatives for math and literacy in particular. And then that way I can just quickly use that during my lessons. And then also it's super helpful and hands-on for students. So normally students get to come up and manipulate different things that are on the board. The best thing that I have found last year was I found like base 10 blocks, but in magnets. So I loved that because then students could come up to the board and manipulate them and show their knowledge and show their math thinking. I used it during math talks when I was doing small group work. So I really enjoyed that. So anything that really comes in magnetic capabilities, I'm gonna actually own it already.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
I hope you kept all those things
I did
throughout
keep all
your
that. Yes.
moves. I have a few magnetic items on mine too. One of
Ooh,
them
tell me.
are those, those magnetic shelves that you can buy so you can put your read aloud for the day. They come in different lengths. Mine are white and they're just like a magnetic shelf, but they also have like a what's the word? Like a fence, you know what I mean? So that things can't fall. And they're strong enough that I could put my mug of whiteboard markers on the shelf.
Oh,
I
not
love
your
that.
coffee? Is there a
Not
coffee
my
one? I bet you
I
there
should
probably
have.
is. We should
I
look into
should
that.
have.
I bet
You
you
can
there is a coffee
definitely.
holder.
You definitely could. And honestly, I would say to my kids, we'd sit down for circle or morning meeting, and I'd say, "Can you go get my Yeti of coffee off my desk?" Because that's when I start drinking my coffee in the morning, is when the kids arrive. I don't know when I'll start drinking coffee this year. I'll have to have a new routine. Also, those magnetic that you can get, and then you can flip your calendar. If you put the calendar like your
Oh,
month, your
yeah, yeah,
day,
yeah,
the
yeah.
year, and then just buy those magnetic rods. Those are super handy too. This is not on the whiteboard, but something we bought for our classroom this year. This was another recommendation from one of the teachers in the school were these little magnetic blocks. They're different than the magnetiles, but they're these little magnetic cubes, Nicole. You'll see it
Oh,
when we compile our
are they the
links.
are they the Cuisinart rods?
They're not those, but those are awesome
Those
too.
are awesome too.
These
Yeah.
are like imagine little cubes that you can build with. They're almost like Minecraft style for indoor recess or like STEM time or tub time that you can build with. They are magnetic and the kids absolutely love them. You're going to love them too. I'm going to send you the link. I wish I had all these things to show
I know,
everyone.
right? And it's super, I know. I hope that I can find them because I have everything in boxes still at my new school. I hope I can find all these magnetic things that I have from the past, but that's okay. I'm sure I will come across them. Another thing on my wish list that I don't have yet, but I want to get because I've seen it in other classrooms and I'm like, okay, I absolutely have to get one of those. I don't know if you've seen them. They're the visual, like obviously we all know visual timers, we know visual clocks, but this one has multiple uses to it. So it can be like count up, count down. It's got different color codes to it. So it's almost like an all-in-one timer, right? Is I know I like the old school timers too, where it just counts it back and like you can see how much is left. But this one was kind of cool because it can go up or down depending on what you're doing. You can change the color coding of it. It also have a bit of a noise light on there too, where you could put where you wanted your noise to be, like for your class. Another little tip or trick or whatever you wanted to have as well. I've seen those in classrooms. I think they're super cool. They're fairly reasonable to buy online, but I use a timer a lot. I love to give kids notice of when we're going to transition. And so I've heard this one lasts a long time, that it doesn't eat the batteries as often as some of the other ones. This kind of visual timer I've seen going around, I'd love to add to my classroom repertoire.
I love that. I have a little visual timer that I would use that you could count up and down, but to me, it wasn't large enough. And so when I was looking for that timer to link for our notes, I actually picked other timers that I wish I had because I feel like if they aren't big enough or they don't maybe show the time in different ways, decreasing or increasing, it's not meeting all of the kids' needs. I did have this little timer here at home. I'm not sure why I had brought it home for my son, but I love these little timers that come with the different times. So you can get them like 30 seconds, 1 minute. I find these are really helpful for kids for a variety of reasons. So I'll link these little guys too.
I love when you walk into a classroom and it's something new that maybe, like, for example, this timer, right? I saw it in many classrooms, but I had never had it before. And then so when I was asking teachers, I'm like, why do you like that timer better than this one? Just like the pencil sharpener, why would you choose that versus this, right? So it's also seeing what your colleagues like and why they like it. And like using that is okay, I'm going to add that to my wish list now because if you like it, then I'm probably going to like it too, right? If it's tried and true by a teacher friend or a colleague, you're probably going to like it yourself, right?
I always teach wearing a microphone around my neck, and it took me a while to get used to it, but I do love teaching with the mic. But I was losing my voice one day, and my friend Nikki was like, "Why don't you get a doorbell?" And I was like, "What? What do you mean?" And she's like, "Get a doorbell." And so she's like, "Come with me." This was when I had first returned to the classroom. And so I went down to her room, and she has this electronic doorbell where she has a button and it can make different sounds. And so she will chime the doorbell to get their attention. We all need a variety of attention signals. So rather than clapping or using your voice or using whatever you use, it was just another way to get the kids to stop and freeze and give you their attention. And I love my doorbell. I didn't even know they existed back then. And so that was a really cool find for me.
Do you use it as an actual doorbell in your classroom? Do you
Ding
use
dong.
it on your actual door?
Oh, nope, I don't. I have it on my
Okay.
desk.
Have you been in classrooms that actually have a doorbell though?
No.
Okay, I've taught in a couple classrooms where I've had to have a doorbell just due to some students who would perhaps leave the
Mhm.
classroom to alert us that they were leaving. And let me tell you, it works so well for certain situations, but sometimes what happens is every time the kids were coming in and out, it was like, "Ding." But it's funny you say that because then someone's like, why don't you just use it as an attention getter? Because eventually we took the doorbell down because it wasn't really
Mm.
following through with its purpose. And they're like, yeah, why wouldn't you just use it? And it's funny, I've never even done it. Someone mentioned that to me. I put it in a drawer. I've never used it since, but maybe I'll pull it out again.
And when you asked, "Do you use it as an actual doorbell?" I thought you meant, did I put it on the wall, like, near my desk and, like, ding dong it from there?
Yeah.
But I love what you're saying. It's such a great idea because and I know things run their course, right? You're good with things maybe for a short period of time, and then you need to think of something new, but for my classroom, because we don't have to have the door locked or shut for different needs, I always encourage my kids to leave the door slightly open when they go to the bathroom to save us from the knocking and the interruption. But there are other classrooms that do need to have it closed. And so that doorbell could, if they're well trained in following those expectations, it could really be helpful. I
Yeah.
love that I never thought about using it as an actual doorbell.
I know there's so many cool different things. One thing that I love that's relatively inexpensive is even though I love my personal classroom laminator, and I would actually add that to a wish list for any new teacher out there, because sometimes your school laminator you can't use, or it's broken, or they're out of lamination pockets, or there's no budget for laminating that year. We know that happens. And I know they can be expensive, but if there's certain things I know I'm going to hold on to for a long time, I will absolutely use my personal laminator. But if you don't have a personal laminator, and I still have one, but use these all the time, is the dry erase pocket sleeves. I bought a
Mhm.
100 pack of them
Mhm.
and I fill them with all of my centers. I fill them with certain things I want students to do when we're practicing printing or handwriting. I'll put the pages in there. Then that way we're not going through so much paper every day. They're just using their whiteboard marker and then they're erasing it. And so I use those for so many things. I use those for when we do sound boxes with literacy. I use them for math. I use them all the time. So every student has their own in their desk that they use to put sheets in. And then I have a class set as well that I might use to hand out some things that I preloaded for that lesson. But I also have them in my centers. So especially for my literacy and math centers, when students go to that station, they know to do the task. Then they know to erase it. They've been also very well trained to make sure everything is erased off there so it doesn't stick. And then that way it's ready for the next learner or for the next day. So I love those dry erase pocket sleeves. Plus, it does save a lot of money on laminating and it saves a lot of money on paper.
100%. I love that. It's on my list as well, and I use them all the time. It's actually ridiculous how much we use them in the classroom, and the kids call them their homemade whiteboards, and we talk about that, how it's saving paper and we can reuse them. They're so versatile because you can pull sheets in and out or turn them over and use them on the other side, and yeah, I think they're great. I rarely use the laminator. I've told you my laminator story after years of me being the one to dig it out and then I was the one that made it jam. I am afraid of the laminator. So those reusable sheets for the win for sure. Sticky notes are on my list, and I know you use these all the time too in a variety of shapes and sizes. as a teacher making anecdotal notes. I love the ones that are more rectangular with the lines, but for kids using the sticky notes for different things, whether it's group work or making groups, or if they need to give me information about something, or we're doing a class vote, or we're making a concepts board. I love those little square sticky notes. We use them a ridiculous amount as well.
One thing I would say that I use daily in an elementary classroom, at least, whether it's I'm teaching kindergarten to grade 6, is I love a zipped pocket folder for their
Mm,
backpacks. So
mm.
I do recycle them every year. I probably have to give a few new ones every year because the zipper breaks or it gets lost or whatever. But I just buy them from the dollar store. They're kind of like that canvasy style. They have a zipper on the top. There's a place for a child's name or a number, whatever, however you do that every year. But I love it because any notice that goes home, any home reading that goes home, any library book that goes home, anything that's important goes in that folder. And at the beginning of the year, I tell parents that every single night. I'm like, please check your child's folder. There might be days that goes by where nothing is in there. But if you're looking for it, it will always be in the folder. And that's really kept me organized myself, but it's kept families organized as well. It's kept students organized. So it just has a zipper on the top. It's a canvasy bag, goes in their backpack. And that way, if things also leak in their backpack or whatnot, it doesn't get on the things that are in that zipper pouch. Those are probably my top 5 things that I would have to have in my classroom because I love that communication back and forth with parents goes in there. And then also, if parents need to send me something back, the kids know in the morning they have to check their folders. So they take them out of their bag, they put them in a bin, they have to quickly check them, and then they go, oh, yeah, that's right. My parents wanted me to give you this. So then it's their responsibility, but it works really well every year. I love that.
Now, this is it small? Like we have
No,
ones that are like 8.5 by 11. Is that about, yeah,
yes. They're
yeah.
large. And I just love the back and forth of those every night.
It's funny because sometimes somebody will lose one, or if they're going between homes, right? They don't have theirs for whatever reason. And so I have always a few extras, and it just is so cute when I'm like, just borrow this one. When you find yours, bring this one back. And the kids are just so grateful, right? That they can borrow those things, but it does keep them organized. And it's such a lifesaver when those spills happen, like the tomato sauce in the
Yeah.
backpack. Yes. Okay. This is what I ran to grab. These little snacks, Nicole. I think we need to talk about teacher snacks as a lifesaver. Have you ever had these little go beans?
I am not.
These were a lifesaver for me this year. They're roasted edamame and they come in different flavors. And of course, we track all the things and are trying to get in all our protein amongst all the other things that we track daily. But these were a lifesaver for me to have in my desk, or if a teacher came to me to ask me something after school and I knew it was their night to stay late, I was like, do you have food? You're not going to accomplish anything unless you have food. And then I could offer them a little pack of go beans. So we're going to set you up in your classroom and me up in my new office with food because we need those things to get us through the day.
I absolutely always have snacks in my classroom. However, they might not have a lot of protein in them. They might have something with the word ketchup chips written across the front of it or a Diet Coke can. Maybe my old teaching partner Megan loves Skittles, so I always had Skittles for her just in case she needed a little sugar kick throughout the day. I always have wine gums. So maybe yes, maybe I should get on the protein train instead and add those to my repertoire. But I always have some kind of good snack in my classroom too. If you are at my school, just so you know, since I'm new, if you're looking for good snacks, come my way because I always have them.
I am picturing this jar of peanut butter, right? Because you love peanut butter just like me, right off the spoon.
Haven't done that yet. Mostly due to allergies, of course. That would be terrible, right? Something went wrong that way. But yes, I always have food in my classroom. But I'll make you a bit of a promise and I'll add some protein to that mix
Oh,
this year. Okay, I'm just looking at my
ah,
list here. I have 2 things left on my list that I kind of want to share
okay.
with everyone.
Okay.
And I've decided I'm not adding books to this curated list right now because I feel like that's a
No.
whole other episode. You and I love picture books so much. And I know we've talked about
Hmm.
doing an episode on our favorites, so we'll kind of save that one. But one of mine that I loved is just a caddy organizer. So something beside my desk. I don't have a traditional desk anyways. I asked to not have one. I just want to have a teacher table. I don't need an actual desk that I'm just going to pile things on anyways. Just a desk I work with students at is good enough for me. But I do like to have a teacher caddy beside me. So something that has drawers in it. I know there's lots of different Rubbermaid brands out there. There's different ones you can order off Amazon or get at any kind of stores. But I just like to keep that organized. And then that's the one area of my classroom I don't let students go in. So my caddy is mine alone. That's where I keep like all of my special pens or different papers that maybe students don't have access to. And then just different little things that I need in there, like tacks and I don't know. What else do you teach them? Staplers,
Binder
like
clips.
yeah, there you go. All those kinds of things just kind of go in there, but it keeps it organized for me. And also students know they can't go in there.
I love that. Scotch tape. You could put
Ooh,
scotch
oh,
tape.
I would definitely be hiding scotch tape in there because yeah, it's funny. All of a sudden I'm like, what do you mean? It's because I'm on summer mode still. I'm like, what do I actually use at school?
We ran out of tape in June and the kids couldn't even believe it. They're like, Mrs. DeLoe, you always have tape. I'm like, I know, because you all love using scotch tape anytime they have a second of free time. So scotch tape for sure. You go with your last one, and I think that's going to be a wrap.
Mine is hands down one of my favorites. It's a wireless presentation clicker. I can walk around the classroom, I don't know, like Miss Magic. I don't know. Kids, for some reason, they're just like, where are you? Where did you hit? How come that went to the next slide? And sometimes I have it in my pocket and I'll just be able to press it enough. I don't know. I love it. I have fun with it. The kids love to use it. It usually goes to the special helper of the day, gets to kind of click through the slides as I'm going through. If I have something on my smart board or my display, I like to use that clicker timer just for a presentation and set that up. It's pretty reasonable. They are easy. Plus, the only thing is this though. I lose my cell phone every 30 seconds. So I obviously lose my clicker, the same thing, right? So if I'm doing like a lesson in the class, the funniest thing is that I had a student a couple of years ago. They were like the clicker, I don't know, finder, if you will. So they'd be like, you should have an AirTag for your clipper, Miss Hoy. I'm like, no, it's good. I have you. Because they were my AirTag. They would like watch me walk around the classroom every time I had it in my hand just to see if I'd put it down. And let me tell you, dollars to donuts. If I put that thing down, I'm like, where's my clicker? That kid knew where it was because they just watched me like a hawk. But I do love that. And it really comes in handy just when I'm doing different lessons in the classroom.
That cracks me up. It brings tears to my eyes. I misplace my phone, usually under some papers or under some books, and the kids always know. I'm like, anybody see my phone? Or anybody see my coffee? This is cute. At the end of the year, the students gifted me a gift certificate to a head spa. Nicole,
Ooh,
have you heard of this?
I've heard of them, but I've wanted to know. Have you gone?
I haven't gone. I'm booked to go. By the time this airs, I'll have gone. So on the next episode, we'll have to talk about it. But I was so intrigued when I opened up this gift. I was like, it's a head spa. I was like, what are they going to do? And I was teasing them. And I said, maybe the head spa will help me with my memory. Maybe you're all sending me to the head spa because it will improve my memory. And they all giggled and I giggled because I knew that's what it wasn't for. But then one of my students put up her hand and said, but Mrs. DeLoe, what if they erase all your memories? What if they erase the memories of us? And I was like, oh my gosh, it was so sweet. And I was like, I'm just kidding. I know it's just to relax and massage and it's going to be relieve the tension.
Okay, you're
I
going to
can't
have to
believe
let
I
me
haven't
know.
gone
Over my algorithm right now.
Oh.
So you're going to, yeah, it's very popular though. It's very popular right now. So
I can't wait to go. I'm all booked in. It took me a while to find a day that would work, if you can believe it, but I'm very excited. I'll tell you all about it.
Thanks everyone for listening today. And we would love to hear from you. So if you have a favorite item that you would love to use in your classroom or that you find is your tried and true, please let us know. Wait, is that the bell? The buses are rolling and we've got duty.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Teachers Next Door podcast. If you enjoyed this week's PD session, do us a solid. Leave a rating, 5 stars preferably, and a review. Think of it as giving us an A+ on our eval. It helps other listeners find their way to our neighborhood. As the kids say, please subscribe.
Do you have a burning question or topic you would like to hear about? Send us an email or message. Be sure to follow us on Instagram for show updates and details on future episodes.
This podcast was produced and edited by us, your teachers next door. No outsourcing here. The reality of all teachers. We do it all.
If nobody else has told you today, just remember, you are doing a great job. Catch you next time.
And we should mention, the ideas we share on this podcast are totally our own.